What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about Season 3 of Zombies. The mode is finally getting some updates that you guys have been asking for, but in all honesty, the mode just changed forever. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and in the background we do have some pretty nasty Morse sniper gameplay inside of a match of Operation Deadbolt. The weapon itself is honestly the new wonder weapon of MW3 Zombies. They're probably going to nerf it in the next week or two. They're likely going to change just how much damage the aftermarket part does do, the photonic charge. That's supposed to be released through a weekly challenge or even the classified sector later in Season 3, but it appears you get early access to it if you use either the Battle Pass or Black Soul blueprints of the Morse. On top of that, if you max out the base weapon, apparently you'll get access to it after getting a bunch of one-shot kills in multiplayer. Not sure what happened with this amp or if that was a mistake. Either way, I'll keep you guys posted with the Morse over the next couple of weeks, but it's very fun to use in Zombies and it's probably one of the best weapons to use as of right now. As a reminder, we got plenty of brand new coverage going up over on detonated.com for those that want some articles about multiplayer, Warzone and Zombies, even CDL, best loadouts, Warzone Mobile, plus there are plenty of tweets every single hour on Detonated's Twitter. So let's start off with that PvP mode for MW3 Zombies. Some additional information was provided by the usual data miners, and they've been talking about it all over Twitter over the last few days. There have been quite a few leaks for Season 4 and beyond of MW3, but here's what's going on with PvP in particular. Leakers are claiming that it will be a story-like mission taking you elsewhere with PvP enabled with respawn points. Now, it looks like weapon cases and even warlords will be featured inside of this mode. Newer details were found in regards to different loot caches, intel, and other aspects of the experience that honestly make it sound like an LTM, but it's probably just similar to Dark Ether Rifts where you have to access this new content from within Urzikstan through a portal or something that'll spawn somewhere on the map. Now, according to Alan III on Twitter, it'll act as a Deadbolt recon mission, and it looks like Season 4 doesn't have a Dark Ether Rift, nor does it have an ending cinematic cutscene of some sort, but it does have this PvP type of experience. So leakers have found references to a Dark Ether Rift and cutscene for Season 5. It looks like the studio working on Zombies right now is just going to be taking a break with that style of update with our 4th season. So PvP is definitely coming. It's not going to be changing the way that Zombies currently works and is technically going to be a separate experience from the main mode. I'm looking forward to how it plays out. It just sounds like DMZ, and I just wonder how high the stakes will be. Can you just go in and risk losing absolutely everything on your person, or is it maybe a separate loot system when you go into this mode? Really curious what's going to happen here, but once again, I think that is still better than nothing in Season 4. They could just take a season off and not update Zombies with any type of content, but at least we're going to get that, and then Season 5 will likely end up closing out the post-launch season of MW3 Zombies, since Season 6 will likely be focused all around the haunting. Maybe we'll get Zombies updates for that, but that'll be very close to the launch of Black Ops 2024 and the return of Round Base. Now, here's a big bombshell from the recent Season 3 creator call. I was happy enough to attend it, and Kevin Drew from Treyarch did go ahead and confirm that that was going to be his last call representing Treyarch and MW3 Zombies, as he has moved on to an unannounced project. And ooh, I wonder what that could be. It's going to be Black Ops 2024, unless it's something else that just hasn't been announced, but Black Ops 2024 is the upcoming project from Treyarch, and I'm sure he's in charge of the Zombies department for that. But yeah, I guess it does confirm that not only is Treyarch kind of stepping away from the mode, but even Kevin Drew, who has been repping it in every previous creator call, even he has to move on from it. But he did mention in the call that somebody from Sledgehammer is going to be taking charge with talking to us creators in those development calls. But the thing is, he kind of made it clear that Sledgehammer is taking charge to wrap up the MW3 Zombie season, both narratively and gameplay wise. We know there have been a few developers over on Twitter that work at Infinity Ward and High Moon who've confirmed they're working on it. Obviously, just about every mode in Call of Duty now is a collective effort from multiple studios, and no doubt multiple studios have worked on Zombies since the beginning, but I do think Sledgehammer is maybe taking up a larger role to round out the rest of the Zombies year for MW3, and obviously there'll be some help from Infinity Ward and High Moon, but I'm curious if Sledgehammer has had a role this entire time with the mode, or did Treyarch truly pass on every bit of manpower they had working on MWZ, and did they give that to Sledgehammer now? Who knows, but we'll just have to wait and see how this does affect the rest of the DLC cycle. Now, what also got confirmed, which I'm not really sure the release date on since nothing was mentioned about it, is a stash size increase. They're unfortunately just going to be increasing the stash from 10 to 20. It's not that big of a jump, but it's better than nothing. They didn't really mention when this was going to release, but I'm sure it'll just be shadow patched into the game once Season 3 Reloaded comes around, or maybe some point before that. But remember, containment levels last season weren't even mentioned in any marketing. They just kind of got added in quietly through patch notes. So that's probably what they're going to do with this feature. It's better than them just not touching the stash size. I just think the studio or some higher ups have data that says with a higher stash size means less people are going to be engaged in, you know, gathering items around the environment environment and exfilling with them. I don't agree with that. I just think they should increase the stash size to much bigger than what it is now, but sadly that's probably not going to end up happening. So we also have another feature that I think is kind of a double-edged sword here. I'm kind of on the fence about it, a schematic cooldown feature. Now I'm totally down to have a method where you can go ahead and lower the schematic cooldown, because it's ridiculous to have to wait multiple days to use something that you might have worked very hard to unlock. But the method that you're going to be able to do it, starting with Season 3, at some point, probably with Reloaded on May 1st, is exfilling with essence. So the more essence you exfil with, the more cooldown you'll get on your schematics. It's unclear if there's a cap to that, or if this is going to go ahead and create another issue, which I'm kind of worried about, and that is people being more encouraged to do a tombstone-like exploit to then have, you know, 1,000,000 points in their game, because if they exfil with those points, that'll instantly cool down every schematic that they were waiting on. I mean, if that's what ends up happening, so be it. The community is going to end up finding a way to instantly cool down all schematics within one game. Fine. At this point, it doesn't really matter. Like I've been saying for the past couple of weeks now, it's cool to be getting new and new schematics and cool little gameplay overhauls, but what are we using all of that for? If we don't get another red worm-like boss fight or something huge to do aside from an act mission and cleansing some artifacts to get into a rift, then it's like, why do we have all of these new powerful schematics? So at this point, yeah, if you want to cool them down in one game using a tombstone exploit, that's probably what's going to end up happening. Although I have said in the past, I'm cool with them finally getting rid of the tombstone method if they can find a way to do that once more content is added into the game and methods in which you can increase your stash size, you can cool down your schematics, so on and so forth. But I also think they should have a system where if you exfil with a duplicate schematic, then you can also get a cooldown on that same schematic if you're waiting a day or two to be able to use it again. Let's see what they do with that. But what's also really interesting is during the creator call, there were many teasers given out as to what the next quest is going to look like, specifically the one coming with Season 3 Reloaded. Now before we continue, I just wanted to remind you about MitchCactus.com, where you can get assistance granting camos, nukes, or schematics in MW3. These guys do not use unlock tools or any bannable methods and will actually help you play the game. Mitch Cactus is also supported by Trustpilot with over 10,000 verified reviews. You can use code Dynamite for a limited time to save 5% off your order. Apparently there'll be a new quest where we have to follow Ava into the Dark Ether, and we'll actually be facing off against the Dark Entity. So we're finally going to learn who that Dark Entity is, and that entity will be a new boss of sorts. Although Treyarch previously confirmed we're not going to see any new boss types or even perks in MWZ, this Dark Entity technically is going to be a new boss. I don't know if it'll just be like some hybrid between a Disciple and a Tempest, or what they're going to do with this boss, but it'll still be something new to encounter when playing MW3. Now Treyarch did give us some hints as to what we're going to need to solve the next quest. Apparently depth perception is going to be very useful, and we have to attune some relics over in Urzikstan. So unlike the Season 2 Reloaded updates, we're not going to be going ahead and finding these relics or attuning them inside of the act mission, but instead over in Urzikstan like we did in Season 1, back when that update released for the first Dark Ether Rift. The new gameplay will push players to work together, and we're going to have to look for an arm, foot, and a head. And once we find all that, and we go ahead and enter the new rift, which takes us to Hydroelectric, right? That's from Al Mazrah, then we'll have to go ahead and complete that, get Elder Sigils, and go back into a harder version to then unlock the brand new schematics. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on these brand new updates in regards to MW3 zombies? Both Season 3 and 4 seem to be cooking up some pretty interesting material that will still keep us busy until the next zombies iteration rolls around in just a couple of months' time from Treyarch, and I think it's better to see the content that we are getting instead of just nothing. Although it is disappointing that zombies isn't getting anything day one when a new season drops, at least they're cooking up something to keep the mid-season updates alive with some zombies love there. It's something, and I'm still going to be covering all of that in the form of videos and over on Detonated. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.